Hello, and welcome to Tiffany's Taste of Italy. I chose the focus area of Italian cuisine. I have a passion and love for Italian food. My family heritage is Italian, from Porticello, Sicily, in Italy. My grandmother is 100% Italian. Throughout my life, I have been exposed to Italian cooking. Taking this class gave me the opportunity to create my own take on Italian cuisine, using my heritage and knowledge. Last summer, I studied abroad in Torino, Italy, traveling all over Italy. I also used my knowledge from studying abroad to create my own recipes. At the beginning of the class, I set 3 goals with outcomes. The first outcome: I will be knowledgeable in correctly converting metric measurements to U.S. standard units, and vice versa in a recipe. For each recipe I created, the measurements were in U.S. and metric measurements. In Italian cooking, the metric system is used. Having an understanding of metric measurements when learning about authentic Italian cooking is critical. I am now confident in metric measurements. The second outcome: through trial and error, I will be able to create my own signature Italian recipes using my Italian heritage and knowledge. When I was in the process of creating each recipe I developed, I reflected on my heritage and knowledge to create my own recipes. I developed a wide variety of Italian recipes, or should I say, a good start to Tiffany's Taste of Italy cookbook. Each recipe I developed was tested by my family. They loved everything I made. The third outcome: through trial and error, I will be able to cook with a variety of spices, herbs, and ingredients while using my Italian heritage and knowledge. When people think of Italian cooking, basil, garlic, olive oil, and Parmesan cheese is most commonly thought of. I use those 4 ingredients, but I also incorporated different ingredients into my recipes, such as saffron, celery, tuna, brown sugar, white vinegar, and lemon juice. I was able to successfully try new ingredients into my own Italian recipes while keeping to my heritage. At the end of this class, I can say that I achieved all 3 of my outcomes. Italian cuisine is much different in America as in Italy. Most Americans do not know what authentic Italian food is. In Italy, bread is eaten plain with no butter, no olive oil, no balsamic vinegar. Do not expect to see chicken parmesan, meatballs, sausage, or Alfredo sauce on the menu. Also, when you order pizza, do not be in shock when you see very little cheeses on the pizza. Italian cuisine is much more than just a dish of pasta or a slice of pizza. The Italian culture of food is broken down into courses. First is antipasto, to which prepares the food to come, or as we call it, an appetizer. Second is primo, the first course, which is a pasta, gnocchi, or risotto. Third is secondo, the second course, which is a meat or fish, for example, veal lemon, veal marsala, or beef. Contrarto is a vegetable accompaniment to the second course. Pasta or salad is never referred to as a contrarto. Lastly, dessert finishes off the meal. For example, fruit salad, tiramisu, chocolate salami, or the cannoli. Vini, wine, is paired with each course. Each region in Italy prefers different wines. Italians use dinner as a time to socialize. Dinner is a long night event. In Italy, food is enjoyed and savored. It is not rushed. A lot of this has to do with the laid-back lifestyle in Italy. Most people do not know that in the afternoon, everything in Italy shuts down. This is so that they can rest or take a nap. Everything reopens around dinner time. Restaurants for dinner do not open until around 7 o'clock. Before dinner, Italians enjoy aperitivo, which is where you pay a flat fee, receive a beverage, which is usually a glass of wine, and one trip up to the table of small foods. Or in America, a lot of people think of it as a buffet, but it's definitely not an American buffet. After aperitivo comes dinner, which can last until 10 o'clock. Italy is divided into regions, or states in the U.S. Italian cooking is regional. Each region offers simple, basic products of its own. Italian cooking is also different from north to south. Butter is more commonly used in the north, and olive oil in the south. Meat is more commonly used in the north, and fish in the south. Tagliatelle and pasta with filling is common in the north, and spaghetti noodles is more common in the south. For my signature final recipe, I created my own recipe for the cannoli. The cannoli is a loved dessert in Italy. I chose this as my final recipe since the cannoli is from Sicily, and that is where my family is from. I will show you how to make the dough for the shell, how to fry the shell, how to make the filling for the shell, and how to stuff the cannoli shell. I am now going to demonstrate the steps in making a cannoli. Hi, and welcome to Tiffany's Taste of Italy. Today I am going to be making the Sicilian cannoli. I am first going to start by making the batter for the shell. So I already have measured out 7 cups of flour, and I'm going to put just a little bit more in my bowl. And then I'm going to add my measured out ingredients into the bowl slowly. So I'm first going to start with my 4 egg yolks, 2 egg whites, and I have measured out 3/4 cup of shortening. Put that in. I have a 1/3 cup of sugar, a 1/2 cup of white wine, and some vanilla flavoring at 1 1/2 teaspoons. And then I'll gradually add in the rest of the flour, and I'm just going to be using a blender to mix it all together. I'll add a little bit more flour, and then now that I have showed you how to do this, we will come back and we will finish making the rest of the cannoli. Hi, I am now going to continue making the Sicilian cannoli. So as you see right here, I have rolled out the batter. Using a rolling pin, I rolled it out to a very, very thin layer. Using a 4-inch round circle cutter, I used it and put it in the dough to make the circle to place around my cannoli shell. As you can see right here, I've already wrapped it around the shell. Using a fork, I have pierced the dough, and then using just a little bit of water on my finger, I sealed the ends of the cannoli so when I deep fry it, it stays together. So I already have one in my deep fryer all ready to go, as you can see here. I deep fry it in my deep fryer using vegetable oil just for 2 minutes. So after 2 minutes, you take it out of the deep fryer and your cannoli will look like this. A nice deep golden brown color with some bubbles. And now we are going to continue with making the cannoli filling in the next video. So we finished making the cannoli shells, and now it's time to make the filling for the cannoli. So in the middle right here, I have 2 pounds of ricotta cheese, And I'm going to fold in 1.5 cups of sugar. So just lightly fold it in. Since the ricotta cheese is really soft, it's pretty easy to just mix it in to the mixture. So just keep mixing it in until it's a nice soft consistency. So now that it's at the right consistency and all the sugar is mixed in, I have chocolate chips and some pistachios, each 1/2 cup. I'm going to make 2 different types of filling for the cannoli. So one will be chocolate chip, one pistachio. So I'm just going to divide a little bit of the filling into each of the bowls, so right here, and then just put a little bit of these in, and then gradually you can keep putting more of the filling in until you're done with all the batter. So one will be chocolate chip, and this one will be pistachio. So just keep mixing it in. So there's that one. And now we will come back and we will stuff the cannoli shells. Now my pistachio batter is done and the chocolate chip is done. So gently stuffing the cannoli shell with chocolate chip and then one with the pistachio, being careful not to break the shell. The next step is to lightly garnish some powdered sugar over the cannoli shells. And then same with the cinnamon, but doing a little less of the cinnamon on top. So now that the garnish is done, just garnish the ends with pistachio or chocolate chip so you can tell which one is which. Now that the Sicilian cannolis are done, you can enjoy them along with an Italian cappuccino. Enjoy. The cannoli is a Sicilian pastry dessert. It is a staple of Sicilian cuisine, originating in the commune Pion di Gale, Albanese, in the province of Palermo, Sicily. Here in America, the cannoli is different. Most often ricotta cheese is not used. Cottage cheese or yogurt is used due to its lower cost. Unfortunately, many think that's how a cannoli is made, but it is not. An authentic Sicilian cannoli uses ricotta cheese. I can tell the difference between the fillings. I have not eaten an authentic cannoli in America until I made my own recipe. My cannolis were right up there with the ones I had in Palermo, Sicily, where they originated. When you make the cannolis at home, be sure to use ricotta cheese. Don't substitute it. When I made my recipe for the first time, it took much longer than my second time. My first time making the shells was unsuccessful, but after trial and error, by the second test, I made a perfect cannoli shell. Making my cannoli recipe does take time, but the end product is worth all the work. My recipe yields 3 dozen cannolis at 1 cannoli per serving. After performing a nutritional analysis on my recipe using the software Nutrition Calc Plus, 1 cannoli has 247 calories. 25 of the calories are from protein, 144 calories are from carbohydrates, 3 calories are from alcohol, being the white wine, and 75 calories are fat. This dessert is not something you will eat all the time, but when you do eat the cannoli, don't get caught up with the calories. You can eat anything you want, but remember, in moderation. I hope you will try to make my cannoli recipe and enjoy them with friends and family like the Italians do. I would pair a cappuccino with the cannoli. It is the perfect pairing. Or you can pair an after-dinner Italian liqueur with it, such as limoncello, Sambuca, anisette, or a sparkling wine called Prosecco. I hope you have enjoyed learning how to make my signature cannoli and will try it at home. I also hope you enjoyed learning about the Italian culture of food. As the Italians say, ciao! Enjoy Tiffany's Taste of Italy authentic Sicilian cannoli.